If you send me a text with no punctuation and everything in lowercase, I will judge you.
And if you spell you, Y-O-U, with just a U, Tab will consider that emotional abuse.
Well, this is Jim, and he may not call you out on your misspellings, but he will silently question your education.
And this is Tab. She's got a black belt in grammar. And she'll spot a grammatical error faster than most people can see a rattlesnake.
And together, we're Unretired AF. Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of the Unretired AF podcast, where we have a podcast for misfits, rebels, and other rabble-rousers in the Boomer and Gen X group. So welcome to our show. We're going to be talking today about why we never ever are going to text in lowercase. But before we get started with that, we'd like to give a shout out to our subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And if it's your first time here, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. And if you like the show, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It means a lot to us, especially since we're such a young channel and just getting started. So
like us like us
like us too, yes. So thank you again for being here.
Thanks.
All right, getting right into it. Why we don't lowercase, and what I mean by that is, so many of the young people today, the millennials and the Gen Z group is, they're not punctuating, they're not capitalizing, they're not doing any of that stuff. And I just can't. Physically, I just can't with that. I see it, and especially when I see a lowercase I cringe. I just can't take it. I can't do it.
We were all taught punctuation, grammar, how to write properly in school. Why stop now?
Right.
Because it's easy? Well, it's actually harder because you're having to think about it.
Right.
Where you don't have to think about doing it right.
Right. Oh, no. You're exactly right. And now the latest thing I've heard is that a full stop period now is being viewed by the younger generation as aggressive. It's just punctuation. It's just freaking punctuation. It doesn't have an emotion about it other than it tells you when the freaking sentence is over.
Yeah.
I don't understand all those feelings about that. That's craziness.
To me, starting a sentence lowercase is like, I don't know, going to a wedding in flip-flops.
Well, I guess unless it's a beach wedding.
Unless it's a beach
wedding. But most of them aren't, and that would not be cool.
No,
you would just look like, you would just look too casual.
Yep.
Too casual, and that's what it is. It's way too casual. Well, culture clash between boomers and Gen Z on texting and emailing. I mean, we'll include emailing, right? Because there's a lot of those people in the workplace now.
Yes, there is.
And so we're seeing them with emails too. So the Gen Zs are all about emojis.
Yeah.
Abbreviating everything, making acronyms out of everything. I don't even know what the hell half that shit is. I'm seriously Googling what was it the other day that we had?
I don't know.
And Gretchen got it on trivia. It was Love You Like a Sister. Remember?
Yeah.
LYLAS. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I had to look up IKR the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I know what that is.
Well, I didn't know what that was.
So anyway, they're doing that. They are abbreviating. They're doing stream of consciousness where there's like no thought. They're just blah, 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 blah. And they are writing everything in lowercase, and it's making me freaking crazy.
I hear you. I don't know if they think doing it right is something that's too formal. I don't know. I mean, doing it right is doing it right. To me, I personally don't want to look like a failed fourth grader. I don't.
I know. I think that
What
they
really
just,
bugs
I think
me,
they're
though.
trying to save time. What bugs
Well,
you?
maybe, but when you get a real, what we're calling a casual, whether it's text or email, when you get that in a business,
Right.
and I get
Context.
them all the time
Wow.
from people I'm dealing with,
Right.
and all this.
Right.
What is all this bro bullshit? Hey, bro.
Or dude, hey dude.
Hey, bro, you want to meet me out? No, I
Someone
don't.
called me a dude one time. I was like, what?
I know. It's crazy.
The world is crazy right now.
Yes,
So
it is.
anyway, all right. Texting etiquette that we swear by.
Yes.
And that does exist. So we use full words,
Yeah.
even if we have to spell it out, because you know what? It just leaves less room for confusion.
Right.
And
Right.
we use punctuation so people
Yeah.
know when the end of the freaking sentence is.
Right.
Because sometimes that changes the context. If it
does.
runs into something else, you don't
It
even know
does.
what the hell they're trying to say. And we use proper spacing. I don't know. I'm holding out for 2 spaces after a sentence. I know that a lot of people are saying 1 space is sufficient.
Yeah.
That's just not how I was raised
Right.
and not how I did things for my whole life. And then all of a sudden at 60, I'm going to only do 1 period. And they like lose their shit over it.
Yeah.
They like, you don't have to do that. It's like, says who? You? And yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We always try to respond timely.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
try to not ghost people.
Right.
I mean, I'll admit sometimes I get busy and then I forget, or
Right.
I'm in the middle of something.
That's a
and
senior
somebody-
moment, not
That's a
ghosting.
senior moment, and I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But as a general rule, we don't ghost people.
No, especially in a professional
Right.
situation.
Right.
I mean, I think we accidentally, like Jim said, we'll accidentally ghost friends because we get busy and forget. It's not that we're trying to intentionally do that. We just forget. Well,
Right.
another thing that makes me crazy, and I see it in emails too, but a lot of times in texting, is they'll send one giant, enormous paragraph, all lowercase, no punctuation.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're going to do that crap, at least break it up into multiple. I mean, you can just hit the return and make a new paragraph of your nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. What I hate is when you call somebody, and you've never done this to me, but like let's say I call somebody, I don't know, that lives like in New Hampshire, and
Do you know anybody from New Hampshire?
I know somebody from up there, and then all of a sudden, in like 5 seconds after you call them, they send you a text. What is that all about? You don't want to
answer
talk
the
to me,
damn
but you got time
phone.
to text me? I know, crazy,
But
isn't it?
that's more the young people, though. I think
Yeah,
that's
probably.
more the young people.
Probably.
Like they're crazy. Or they text you and you call them. Like my son has done that. He's like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to text back." I'm like, "You texted me and I called you." He's like,
Right.
"You're not supposed to call me. You're supposed to text me back." And then not now, but when he was younger, he was like that. So I thought that was pretty silly.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, are we old or are we just right? I think we all know the answer to that one. I often let's just say this. I have an iPhone and I often will text, and before just recently, if you make a mistake on it, I would do the little asterisk thing and then send a correction to correct it. Now with the iPhone, you can actually go in. If you're sending to somebody else with an iPhone, you can edit it. And I will do that. So yes, it's important to me if I screw up on a text that I will make a correction with the asterisk.
No,
If that
you're
makes
great
me
about that.
if that makes me fuddy-duddy,
No.
I don't care.
No.
It just makes me have good grammar.
Right.
Because I don't want anybody to think I'm a dumbass.
Well, maybe it's because we are old-fashioned,
Maybe.
but it could be maybe because we're just correct.
I think that's what it is.
I tell you,
I think
I
that's
mean,
what it
my iPhone in its whatever it's called, the autocorrect. There's a lot of
Right.
times it's wrong.
Right.
It's wrong.
Yeah, I never have ever once typed out a text with the word duck.
With the word, excuse me, the word what?
Duck.
Duck.
Never once have I typed out duck, but it's autocorrected to duck numerous times.
Right.
So, all right. The takeaway for today's episode is obviously, we were taught that how you say things is just as important as what you say.
No doubt.
And I think that having good grammar, it's important, and I wish the young people would understand this, because when you meet someone for the first time, we all have to use some sort of shorthand to understand or to make an opinion about that person, and we're all doing it.
Yeah.
And if they come right out of the gate with some bad grammar, we're already going to be making those judgments about them, and so I think that proper grammar is a form of self-respect, because it helps people. It shows people that we care. It shows people that we're educated, and it shows people that we have respect for ourselves, and they're going to treat us that way.
Right. Right.
I think.
Well, and I think the world is getting lazier.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
People are just willing to put up with that.
And they think that we are so whatever, but you know what? We're still here.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep bitching about it while the whole time we're here.
Yeah. And us, I'm not willing to give up full sentences.
No.
I mean,
No.
I'm not going to abandon capital letters.
No.
I'm not going to abandon punctuation.
No.
If you don't like it, I don't care.
Right.
I really don't care.
Right.
So,
well, and I think they're going to find these people that they're going to have a hard time when they get in further in life of how, because you can't do what we're doing now and do like video editing or do any type of writing. And most jobs, require at least some kind of writing.
yeah. I mean, most jobs, though, don't even require a live interview anymore, though. If you go Indeed, you go all this crap. You can't really judge a person until you're sitting in front of them.
Well, and that's true, because they're probably using AI for their resumes. So the resumes, the AI program is making them look good. And then when they get in there,
yeah,
and then they're in the job, they're going to find out. But you know what? I'm sure all these people who are hiring know all about it, because, people aren't just ghosting us for business. They're ghosting jobs.
Yeah. I'm sure all of you have had experience in
in
this field.
Yep.
Because it is a field, because it's like truly getting to be us against them. Right. Those of us that use proper grammar and English techniques, and those that don't. I'm sure you've got a story or two.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with us, if you think this is just so great because you can do something in minutes, let us know, because I'd like to comment to you.
Well, and I think, too, we need to make a disclaimer, because there are, Jim and I know some absolutely amazing young people.
We do.
Who are working hard, who don't fit into that category. So, we don't want to say that, all young people are, but from people we know and our own experiences out there, we're seeing this, and it is a trend that is going on, but it's not everyone. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that are making the effort to communicate, because it really is just about effective communication, and they're making the effort.
You're right, dude. You're right.
It's so weird. All right. Well, if you have enjoyed this episode of our antics going back and forth, and you'd like to see more, please hit that subscribe button so that you get our content in your feed every weekday, Monday through Friday. Well, we're not slowing down.
And neither should you.
And together, we're Unretired AF.